New Year, guys. Welcome to a brand new year. It's the year 2021. I'm so excited. It's amazing to be here. I mean, with what happened last year, it is good to be in a new year and filled with hopes and expectation. And I know I am not alone on this one. I know a lot of people have made it, a point of commitment, a point of duty to improve themselves, to better their businesses, most especially because the year 2020 was a roller coaster ride. Wow. The COVID-19 was something else. It was not planned for by anybody. Businesses had to close, staffs reduced. We literally had to find ways to operate at minimal cost, and that's the beauty of business. For me though, I'll say a special shout out to every creative, every designer, every architect who literally survived the year. This is not the time to count whether or not one has made so much money. The fact that you survived the year, believe me, is a huge win. And I would like to say, we did it. We did it. That's the only thing that counts. So if you fall into the category, are you a designer who just wants to make, increase revenue? Or are you a freelancer who is looking at how do I charge my client? Or are you that architect who's just sitting down wondering, how does architect B always does it? That his work, he's always getting job after job. If any of these thoughts has actually crossed your mind, then I say, welcome to SILL Talks. SILL Talks is a podcast dedicated to providing information, finding new ways, and developing strategies to help the African architects build better businesses that are sustainable as well as profitable. I am your host, Egbenyon Leonard, and welcome to my podcast. So I have a question. Do you remember any of those courses you took in architecture school? Do you remember anyone teaching you how to run a profitable architectural firm, or anyone actually pointing out how to sell the amazing architecture we produce? I don't remember any either. And that single fact is what is responsible for 80% of the reasons that architects are not performing optimally. Because we go to school, right? We spend, say, 4 to 7 years in school to study architecture. And we are taught all the rudiments of design. We are taught how to create amazing stuff, how to think, and all of that. But we come out of school and then we also have to now delve into the business world where we are ill-equipped to actually handle the stuffs that are thrown at us. And if you find out time and time again, architects have to now start reading books, have to start learning hands-on on how to take care of their business or sell their products that they produce, which is not supposed to be so. Let's not forget that architects are in the business of providing housing solutions to its clients. And what that means is the word business there categorizes the architectural practice itself to fall under the category of things that market forces will act upon, meaning that you have profit, you have losses. Also, you have rent to pay, you have light bills to pay, and all of that. So, why are we not taught these things at school? It's a question that I've asked again and again and again. And the same thing goes for the firm owner who is in business just to make ends meet, as well as to make profit. You may wonder, why do I care so much about this aspect of architecture? What is it to me? Why am I dispassionate about it? Before I go further on that, let me tell you a little story about myself. Like I said earlier, my name is Egbenyon Leonard Osaro. I am a registered architect. I am the business development officer at SILL Designs. And SILL Designs is an architectural consultancy firm which operates out of Port Harcourt. I am also the co-founder of Render Like a Pro. Render Like a Pro is an architectural visualization outfit that offers specialized training in architectural visualization as well as high-level architectural renderings to a clientele base. So with that said, I rewind back to say 8 years ago where I had to do my internship, the mandatory internship that is done for in architecture, where you go on, in Nigeria, it is called the 6-month industrial training attachment, where you go and you serve as an intern in an architectural practice. And I actually did my internship in a small size architectural practice, a wonderful firm, detailed to the letter. And it was in the heart of Lagos, Marina to be specific. And with a staff so vast in knowledge and so detailed, we watched as project trickled in unknowingly. Over the course of my internship, I witnessed how it felt like for staff, of a firm to patiently wait for one client's check to clear for months. If not, salary would not be paid. I was pained. Even went back as affecting my own little stipend because the firm had to wait for money for new jobs to come, which were not forthcoming. So you just find people coming to the office. Yes, amazing portfolio, but something just was not adding up. And this experience over the course of my internship, sunk in my heart. And I started wondering, what is it that people do differently to get projects? I started asking the right questions, and this led to a series of research and investigation, which over the course of 8-9 years, I have constantly been at. So, the SILL Talks is a part of that result of years of research and efforts for myself, as well as other people I have spoken to prevent architects and firm owners from suffering after investing long hours and sleepless nights on projects, at the same time worrying about what to do to get the next project in. It just didn't feel right. So my effort over the years, as well as people interaction and all, is what forms the whole podcast called SILL Talks. SILL Talks will focus on all the activities required to create an architectural brand, then strategies in positioning the firm to attract the clients and projects it needs to achieve its practice goals, and also, since value is fundamental, value creation is fundamental in the business, SILL Talks will show you clearly how providing your client with greater value from your services will set you apart from your competitors. All right, with that said, the structure of the podcast will be in such a way that we'll have, solo episodes where I get to talk about things that are very peculiar in balancing architecture and the business side of it. Then also we'll be having interviews, amazing interviews lined up with leading firm owners, as well as firm managers who are decision makers in the day-to-day running of their business, to find out what it is that they do differently, how is it that they operate to keep, their doors open. Also, we'll be looking at questions and answers. I'll throw out questions out there, or you guys will throw out questions, and then we'll try and see how we can find answers to them. Also, I need to put in here that realizing that architecture generally, or the business side of architecture generally, there's no one way to it all. It depends on your clients, it depends on relations, it depends on a lot of factors. So we are going to be doing a lot of, analyzing to see how best, what works, what does not work, what has been tried before, interviewing people, questions and answers. And also we'll be looking at a special edition where we'll do recap of events, analysis, and all of that. So after that, we'll look at the segments and the framing of SILL Talks as a podcast or as a talk show. Basically, the show will be divided into 3 forms. To keep you guys posted, we'll have the podcast every 2 weeks. I know I'm starting out and I'm asking myself, can I keep up the energy? I still have to practice. There's a lot of things that I still need to do. So I want to keep it as consistent as I can. So we'll be dropping it every episode will be dropping every 2 weeks. And at the same time, we'll be keeping you posted with newsletters. Also on our blog, we'll be dropping juicy content every week. So in order to not miss these juicy contents, I'll ask that you kindly subscribe, download, share, post your questions. Please, I want to hear from you. I am also learning. I have not been in practice for so long as to the people we are going to be interviewing and relating with, but I know that there are peculiar cases where you have had to learn on the job. So what I want to hear from you guys is feedback. Please, feedback is key for me on this one. So I'll look forward to hearing from you, and please help me to keep the juice flowing. It is important that architects realize that we are in the business of providing housing solution to our clients, and as such, we need to keep our business prosperous. Thank you very much for listening, and once again, I am your host, Egbeyon Leonard.